Good morning, friends. Welcome to goonlinetrainings.com. So today, let us understand how to create some more stored procedures. So let us have here, there is a requirement, create a stored procedure for the loan statement. So when the customer is asking this kind of a requirement, we have to ask what are the inputs the stored process has to take. So what is the output the stored proc has to give? So all of them you have to be clear. What is the output you're expecting, and what is the input it is planning to take, and what is the logic that I have to write inside the proc. So all these things. See, whenever write any program, the program will have three things. What is the input? What is the output? What is the logic I have to do in between? So if you're understanding these three parts, you can write any program in this world. Could be C program, C++ program, Java program, .NET program, or stored procedure or a function. So you have to be very clear what is that they're asking and what is that we have to give it to the program, because what is that we have to get it from the program and how we have to do it. So any program in this world will have an input, will have an output, and it will have some logic. So let us understand, we have to create a loan statement here. The input here, I don't have any table, but I have to tell you what is the amount of loan I'm planning to take. The amount is the input parameter. So for, could be a loan amount for you. Okay. Loan amount, how much you're planning to take? You're planning to take $2,000 or 2 lakhs rupees, whatever it is, loan amount, and rate of interest. So how much is the bank asking for the interest? Some interest, 14% per annum, 12% per annum, 10% per annum, something like that. Okay, rate of interest. And what is the tenure we're talking about? Tenure in years. So we're talking about 2 years tenure, 4 years tenure, 5 years tenure, or 10 years tenure. So this is how we're going to have, so some kind of a tenure, and probably that's date. So date of, loan date, something like this. So loan, when is that you wanted to have a loan here? So loan date, you can take some kind of a default value, because whenever you go for the inquiry, so automatically this can take the loan date. So this is not at all input parameter. So you can have in the inside your logic, you can keep this, because loan date nobody will give you. For example, when you go to ATM, you never give the date, but automatically the date is taken. So loan date need not be supplied. So this is part of our logic will implement. Okay. So these are the things we're planning to have: loan amount, rate of interest, and a tenure date. And what is the output they wanted to have? They wanted to have like this serial number, and they wanted to have payment date or pay date. Then you have to EMI amount, and so below, we have to get like this. For example, we are taking 24 months, 2 years. So pay date could be, for now we are in July, right? Probably August. August 21st would be the, for example, when you take loan today, today is July 21st. So August 2016 is the first installment date. For example, you have to pay some YYY amount. Okay. And for the second month, this is serial number would be month. So September 21st and 2016. And here also you have to pay the same installment amount. So this is how you have to, and dot. 2 year means you have to repeat this for 24 months. Okay. So blah, blah, blah. So at the end, you have to say uh, grand total. So how much they paid, including everything. So the grand total could be, you have to put here and close. This is a report you're planning to have as part of the stored procedure. Okay. So this is what is the output the stored procedure is going to give you, and the stored procedure is going to get you. These are the input parameters. Okay. And the date, probably the whenever you apply for the loan amount, so that loan date we're going to take. So are we clear with this? So now, and the logic, so this is what is the requirement for the creating a stored procedure. Okay. So now, when I come down here, what are the logic step I have to want? Is there any formula? So formula I have to apply to calculate interest and all. So formula is, I think, PNR by 100. So whether it is correct or not, I don't know. But let me use this because here most important is that how to create the stored proc using some formula. Okay. So formula PNR by 100. P means principal, then you have a tenure, rate of interest and time. So this is the formula I'm going to use. And this formula is also given by the customer. So I have to know the formula. Then what all I have to know? So first I have to, so loan date you have to do it and formula you should know. And then the next step would be, and say this is step number one. Loan date you have to declare and you have to declare this formula and do some kind of a this one. And using this formula, using above formula, okay. So what we get? We get the interest. Okay, we get the interest. So PNR by 100, for example, when you take say some 1 lakh bucks, 1 lakh dollars, and the rate of interest say 14%, whatever it is, and 1 lakh is here, and the rate of interest that is ROIR, and tenure is here. So 2 lakh or $2 million into the tenure 2 years, and the rate of interest is 14 by 100. So using above formula, we get the interest. So we have to store this interest. So interest equals to, okay. So interest is a variable you have to store. So PNR by 100. Okay. So you will going to prepare. So here P means what? For example, you're taking loan amount. Let me give you some example also here. So if you take loan amount of say 1 lakh dollars or $10,000 into rate of interest would be the tenure would be 2 years into the rate of interest is 14% per annum. And so this is one calculation. So you would be able to get, so this is say 1 million or 10 million, whatever it is. So this is some amount, and this is the tenure, that is duration, and this is what is called. Yeah. So this is how you have to do it. And whatever you get, this will be the interest that you have to store in a variable. Now, the next step is that you have to have the amount taken, the total amount you have to calculate. So total amount now is that, so loan amount plus interest. So this is the interest he has to pay for the whole year. Okay. For example, now this loan amount could be so this, and you will get some interest here. So interest would be some XYZ. So XYZ you're going to have it here. So So this plus this would be the total amount. So are you clear? So this is how the next step. The total amount you're going to get. So the loan amount plus the whatever the interest. So interest we had calculated and kept separately, and that is this. Now you have to find out the EMI. EMI means equal monthly installments. EMI would be what? So your total amount divided by your tenure in years, this you have to convert into months because normally they're going to give you in years. So when you say 2 and you have to convert it 2 into 12, automatically you will get months. So this is how. So total amount, this amount by this and monthly installment you have to get. Then the next logic is you have to display this. That's it. So display, you have everything is ready. Now display the above data. So this is where you have to use it. So presentation is that. So clear? So this is the logic you have to apply. Are you clear? So this, if you're clear with this, then we are able to understand. So requirement is a created SP for the loan amount. The customer is going to give you the input in the stored procedure. and output, the customer wanted to have this kind of a output, serial number, or it can be a month number also. Okay. And pay date from the next month, it's going to start on the same date. Okay. And EMI amount, I told you the loan amount plus the interest divided by total tenure, you're going to get the EMI amount. Okay. So, and the total amount is paid. So, loan amount plus extra interest, blah, 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 would have been paid. So, that amount is going to be printed here. And that's it. If you wanted to say thanks for some kind of a visiting our bank and call customer care, some kind of a info you can give customer care at 1-800-1-2-3-4 and 1-2-3-4, something like this. You can give if you wanted to have, otherwise leave it as this. Okay. So this is what is the report, some kind of a thing the customer is planning to have. So let me create the same SP. Once you're clear with the requirement, then only you can have. But if you don't understand the requirement, it is very, very difficult for us to understand. So always it is the developer's responsibility to understand what is the customer is going to ask. Now, normally this document you're going to prepare. So this document is known as a technical spec. And the technical specification you're going to write how is that you're going to achieve the stored procedure and what stored procedure is going to take. So all the technical things you're going to write something like this, so that this document whenever you give it to your lead, they would understand, okay, so he's going to prepare and is going to create say this variable and this variable, and it's going to display and this variable, and it's going to keep the loan data as part of the logic, so that people would understand, okay, this is how the developer is going to take. So this is some kind of a technical specification document for the stored procedure. Clear? Now, when you go to the stored proc and when you have the requirement, definitely you should have. Now, as we discussed yesterday, what is the purpose of a stored proc and why we have to create? So all of them. So before that, let me understand. Yesterday I had created a proc, right? So how do you get the code of the proc? So this is the proc yesterday we had created. So let me execute. Now we have to remove this DBO and everything. So space, man, this proc. So whenever you create a proc, so copy this and paste. Let me use the same proc here, and I'm going to use, so this portion I wanted to use it. So now SP name is loan statement. Okay. Statement is the SP name. So this is part of use iBank. So you have to use Go, and prints it prints the report, loan report. Okay. It prints the loan report. So this is how in the production environment people would use the database iBank. So I'm going to create July, say today's date is 21st and created by Bhaskar Jogi. And you should have this kind of history also created or this one. So created this SP today. And so here I have to write the logic. So you have to say create a proc name. So that is loan statement, and you have to open the parenthesis and as begin and end and go. Okay, so this is the what are the variables I must have in this? The variables or the parameters are these three. So let me copy them and let me just go there and paste it here. So these are the input parameters. So parameter must have loan amount could be money. So you have to put money, comma, and the rate of interest. Let me put simply ROI. I don't need entire this one. So could be integer or it can have decimal also. So rate of interest could be 14.2. If that is the case, put the decimals. So here, and tenure in years. So you can say simply tenure in years. Okay. So could be 2 years. Some integers, tiny int. Okay. So tiny int means That is, 255 years. Nobody is going to get tiny int can take 0 to 255 positive numbers. And rate of interest could be also tiny int 5 because it is also not going to take much. So it could be 0 to 255 positive numbers is going to use. So but int means it's going to take, millions and trillions. So loan amount and ROI, rate of interest, and tenure in years. So these are the things I'm going to expect. So put all these things. Okay. So if you wanted to show some the report for the default, for example, somebody comes, if you need some kind of a value, for example, I wanted to, when you go to the bank, the customer will say, if you take a 1 lakh and if you take, say, 2 years, and if you say it is rate of interest is say 14%, say 14, and if you say for 2 years. So these are the default values. If the customer is not asking, some sample report is will be displayed with this data. So the executive will show you if you take like this, and this is how it's going to be. So one sample report that these are called default values you can provide. Okay. But otherwise, when you supply the data, and that data will be overwritten by this data. So this data will not be there when you supply something. So these are the default values, and these are the input parameters. Okay. So how do you know whether it is input or output? For output parameters, you have to put output. For example, when I say at the rate x integer, if I don't say anything, it is input parameter. For output, I have to say out or output. Okay. So now we are very clear. So these are the only input parameters. So remove this comma. Many people will forget to put this commas. Remember that you have to put comma. Last variable need not have. And as begin, now you have to, first thing as we discussed here. So this part is over, and this part we're going to see later. And we have to use a loan date, because loan date customer need not tell I'm going to take today or tomorrow, but whenever he fills the form. So let us declare one variable. So for the loan date, okay. So declare a variable to for loan date. Okay. Now declare at the rate loan date. So set date time. Okay. Now set at the rate. So whatever you're having it here. Sorry. So you can have it here. Loan date would be always get date. So because whenever you're coming to the bank, they're going to calculate on that date only. Okay. Now done. So next one, I have to create a formula, right? So now the next step would be, let me write like this. So, so calculate interest. Okay. So the formula also we had used. So let me going to use this formula. Okay. Whether it's right formula, wrong formula, that is we are not, because whenever we write for the production, we use the this one. So for this, I have to declare one more variable. So declare at the rate, say interest. So it is not case sensitive, so don't worry about it. So interest and say money, and now set interest. Okay. So this interest I'm going to keep in the RAM. So all the variables will be part of your RAM, right? So PNR by 100. What is the P? P means whatever be the amount we are getting from here. So that is the P. So P is this into N means tenure, and R means rate of interest, something like that. And you have to take, so never, type. So always copy. This is the better thing. No spelling mistakes. And you can have, and keep the brackets and close the bracket divided by 100. That's it. So this is how the interest is calculated for the given amount. So these are the, some amount I had given, say it is some amount. So let me put like this, certain just 1 million. So something like this. Okay. And now after that, calculate what? Calculate total amount. So total amount would be what? So you have to say declare at the rate total amount, say money, and set. You have to take total amount equals to your loan amount, control C and control V, plus whatever the interest is calculated that is stored in this. Now this, for example, when you take some x plus 2, for example, when you take some 100 plus 20, 120. So this will be here. Now you have to now calculate EMI amount. Okay. Now let me declare one more variable called EMI amount as again money. Okay. Set EMI amount equals to how do you are going to get the total amount divided by the tenure. Okay. Divided by, open the bracket. What is the tenure here? Tenure in years only you're going to get. So tenure in years, but we have to convert that into months, means 12. Okay. Now you're going to get for each month, how is the amount they're going to pay. Now this amount is ready for you. Now the next thing is that you have to display in the report format, display the EMI table. Okay. So we have to create a table. For that, what I'm going to use, I'm going to use a print statement. Okay. So now print, you will have like this. Okay. So this is one print, and I can have like this. And here, let me put print. And here I'll say serial number. Okay. And close. Then I can use a function called space function. I need to get 10 spaces. Okay. Plus again, after 10 places, I wanted to have EMI due date. Okay. EMI due date. Plus after that, I'm planning to use some spaces, say term 1. Then after what I wanted to print EMI amount. Okay. In USD or in Indian rupees, whatever you wanted to have. So this is how you're going to have. Then later, so at the end you say what? So like this, and so you say print grand total is, you close this and you put some spaces, say some 10 spaces, then you display some grand total. Okay. So this we're going to have. So grand total will be this only because the interest and everything, this is the amount, the grand total. Let me have here. So plus you can have like this. Okay. Now, whenever you print like this is a, oh, let me remove this also. Simply let me have like this. Okay. So going to print grand total plus. So when you wanted to print like this is a concatenation. Hope you are able to, you know this. So grand total is going to print and it's going to print this. So this is in money format. This is in string format. It never prints like this. So you have to convert this into string. So how to convert? You have to use cast function. Hope you have already know about it as varchar. So this is one thing we have to understand. Let me show you something and let us come back to you. So when you come here, say, let me declare some value. Okay. Declare at the rate x is the integer and set at the rate x equals to 100. And let me put select at the rate x. Now, when you have like this, you're able to get 100, but no column name. So to give the column name, you have to say as my salary, something like this. So this is how you're going to get. But instead of a select, you can also use a print here. But when you use a print here, it is going to give you error because print cannot have as a salary as alias. Okay, so remove this and you print, it is going to print like this. But I wanted to print as salary, it is not going to work. So how you're going to use this? Now you have, if you wanted to print this, you have to remove like this, and here you have to say print, you have to use a string. So my salary. So then you have to put what plus. Plus is the concatenation symbol. So when you execute this, this is going to give you an error because this is a string value and this is the integer value because this is integer. So both of them will not be printed by the printing statement. So this you have to convert. It is saying conversion failed when converting. So this is going to convert into int. So this you cannot convert actually. This you have to convert into varchar. So how to convert that? Cast, okay, say at the rate x as varchar. Okay. Now when you execute, it is going to work. This is what is a string constant, and this is what is yours. So when you say my salary, and you can put brackets here like this, and you can put this one something like this, and now let you execute. My salary is this. But if you wanted to print with the select, simply you can say x. Okay, you can use both of them at the rate x. Say my salary. Okay. Now when you execute, messages will have this. Print always will be there in the part of messages, and select is always part of your results. So my salary is 100, or my salary, if you put blah 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 also, and you see, so my salary blah blah blah. So this always a select will be having a results, and print always will show you the data in this. Clear? So this is how you have to understand, since I am using a printing, and this I have to convert using a cast function. Clear? So that is the thing you have to understand. So now when I say grand total is my string, when I use total amount and going to print this and this, it is not going to work. And plus is the concatenation symbol, and I have to convert this into varchar. Clear? So in between, I have to write logic. So here we are going to use a loop. Okay. So SQL Server will take only while loop. Okay, it is not going to take for loop and all. So while loop, any loop will have three things. What is that loop is going to have? Loop will have any loop you take. So what is the starting value? That is what is called initialization. And what is the condition? And what is the increment or decrement? So these are the things any loop will have. What is the starting value? What is the condition? What is the increment or decrement? For example, if I wanted to run any task for 1,000 times, so first the starting value you have to declare one variable here. So for this, you have to have one variable declare at the rate x or the counter, something like this. Say integer, and so let me keep it here. For starting value, how we have to do it? So declare at the rate x integer, and you have to set the value at the rate x equals to 1. So this is the starting value. You must have one variable with some values. So next one, condition. What is the condition you have to write here? You have to say while, open the bracket, close the bracket, condition is, okay. So at the rate x value has to say run for 1,000 times. So starting value 1, so x value should be lesser than 1,000, and then you have to say begin and you say end. So this is the condition. So in the condition, you have to write the logic. What is the logic you're going to say? So simply I'm going to say print x. Okay. So then I have to put increment or decrement. So the increment or decrement will be inside your body. Okay, so it will come here. So increment or decrement, I say set at the rate x equals to at the rate x plus 1. This is increment. So what is going to happen now? Let us understand. So let me remove this. So this is my loop. Anybody can write the loop. So this is the loop for SQL Server. So and this is the syntax also. There is no other syntax for the loop syntax. Only this. Okay, only while loop. So no need to worry about this. So when you say start and condition and increment decrement, so what is going to happen now? So the first, it is going to take the value of 1. For example, now when you take the at the rate x value equals to 1. So this is what is the at the starting position. Now it will come here. So x1, so it will replace 1 here. And 1 is lesser than 1000. This is a true condition. When is a true condition in the output? So let me take the output here. So so let me print you output down. Okay. So output, it is going to print 1 for you because I'm saying print 1. So afterwards, what I'm saying, x value, x plus 1. So x is the value 1 plus 1, it will become 2. That 2 will be that 2. So x value will become 2 now. Okay. So next time when it comes here, from here, it is not going to go here. The starting value, it will not go. So from end, it will come to again this statement. So it is only once used. Remember this. So again, it will go. Now it will replace with 2 because at the rate x, now it is equals to. So 2. 2 is also lesser than 1000. This is a true. So now print x. What is x? Now print will be, it's going to print here in the output 2. Okay. Now it comes here, x plus this one, the x value will become 3. Okay. Now from here, it is not going to start. Starting is only one time used. Understand? Okay. Only one time. So next time onwards, only while and in this begin and end, in this only the logic will go. So now x value will become here 3. Now 3 is true and print x, x equals to 3. Now in the output, it is going to print 3. Okay, like that, it's going to print blah blah blah. And at last, when you reach 1000, and it'll print 1000, it will come 1000 plus 1. So this will become 1001. Okay, it will become. Now it will go, it will replace 1001 here. And this is the false condition. When it's false condition, it will come out of the end. That's it. Okay, so it will print 1000 and it will increment also. It will print 1000, it will increment also, then it fails. So only first time it's going to use the starting, the next time onwards, this is the condition, increment, condition, increment, condition, increment, and do some activity. So condition is true, do some action, do increment. Condition is true, do some action, increment. Condition is true, do some action, increment. So it is not going to go again here. First time only it is going to go this. So when you understand this, and we are able to achieve the printing of 1000 numbers or 1 lakh numbers like this. Clear? So now the same statement I'm going to use here. So instead of x, let me put say CNTR counter and the, or you can put I. So simply let me put some I value here. So I is increment, or I can say INCR. So let me put INCR. Okay. And how many times I have to run the loop there? I have to run the loop here. How many times we know? Because tenure into 12 months. So this is what is the complete thing I have to use because they wanted to have the this one for 2 years, right? So now as of now you take and that you have to convert into months. So you have to put like this into 12. Okay, let me put the brackets here. Okay, let me put the brackets here. So increase this. This will be running for those many times. Now afterwards begin. So I wanted to print. What all I wanted to print? I wanted to print first. What we have to print? We have to put a print. So the printing already we can use INCR. So printing purpose. What I'm going to use this variable. I'm going to print. Okay. Now you can say plus space of 10. Why spaces? Because I have to give, but definitely uh, plus space after the increment is 1, 2, 3. It'll print like this. So this is the thing I'm talking about. It's going to print 1, 2, 3 because 1, 2, 3 is available in NIRCR only. Okay. Now, so when I go here, so this is what is INC here, it's going to print. Then I'm going to give space. Then afterwards, I need to print EMI date. EMI date would be, already we have a date here. What is the date we have declared? Loan date, right? So this one I'm going to copy. And for next month onwards, this is going to take 2 days, but I'm not going to give the this one. I'm going to have plus space, and sorry, here I wanted to declare this loan, but I have to add. There is a function called a date add. So how much I have to add? Month comma one. Okay, and this one. So whatever be the date today, for that date you have to add 1 month and this. But second time when you run the loop, you have to increment by one. So one, two, three, four, like that. So now it will be INR here equals to one. So second time it will become two. So instead of I am putting a value, static value, let me put INR here value. Otherwise, what is going to happen? Every time you will get only 1 month. So let me keep, but this entire thing you have to convert, because print it is an integer value. This is a money value. You have to convert all of them. So let us convert later. So again you have to put what? Plus, give some spaces, space of 10, and you give plus symbol for concatenation. Okay. Now, the last one I have to show you here is the loan amount. So, loan amount is EMI amount. This you have to display. Control C, and you have to put Control V here. But all these things will not work. And you have to put INRCR value, you have to increment. So, that's it. So it is going to print the value and it is going to increment. So this is what is the loop you have to write. Okay. But here it is an integer, it is a date time, it is a some kind of a money. So everything has to be converted. For converting purpose, what we have to use? We have to use cast and open the bracket, and we have to have as varchar. Okay, that's it. Now the code will be, length is more. So let me get this down. Okay, here also I have to say cast, open the bracket. Okay, now this is the value. Entire value is this value. Then we have to say same thing as varchar and bracket. We have to copy. So space as varchar and copy and space. Then you bring it down. So you write cast, open the bracket, and here space as varchar. So this is how you have to print the values. Clear? That's it. So nothing else. So only this you have to copy, Control C, and go here. And this is the while loop syntax I have to copy. So I have written there because you will not get any confusion there. Okay, so this is how you should be able to. So begin and end you have to have clearly, and so this is how it's going to be go. But there is a issue here because statically only 1 month I have added. So next month also it should work. So let me create this and let me execute now. Use iBank and execute. Now it is completed successfully. So how do I call? So calling, take this Control C, and you have to remove this and execute Control V. If you don't give, it will take default values because 10 lakhs, 14% interest, and 2 years of the tenure. So let me execute this first. See now? So first month they have to pay 53333.33. This is EMI amount in USD. But every time we are getting, the date would be is not changing. So we're only giving August 21st, 21st. So it is nothing is happening because we're in July, right? So it is gone to September, August, and it's stuck there. And the total amount also we're going to print. So the total amount they have to pay. This is the total amount. So, but we can just organize. You can give some spaces or something here, and when you go and here you have to come and say alter first. Okay, and two things alter, and one is that I wanted to have some spaces here. So space say some 20 plus. I have to put grand total, and here instead of one, so this value first value will be 1, 2, 3. Control C, and you have to put Control V. because every time the date has to change. Now, after this, I can have some kind of a, I can have thanks for visiting our bank, blah, 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 whatever. If you wanted to have, you can have that. Otherwise, no need of some, this I'm talking about. Okay. So, this portion also you should be able to print and control V and one more print. Okay. So, you have to close this here and come space print. So like that, we can print much more things here. Okay, now that's it. So let me alter because I had updated, modified something. Alter I have used. Now go and execute. Now August, September, October, November, December, your loan will be going to go in this. So thanks for visiting our bank. Call customer care number, blah blah blah. So this is the still you can have some kind of a space. It still you can come so you can have some more spaces you can increase here. So let me have another 7 spaces. So execute and simply execute this. Come down. So probably it is good. So grand total is this. Are you clear? So this is how we have to print the loan statement, and this is how. Now you can also give, for example, it is for 22 million and 16% of the data of interest for 5 years. Now execute this. Now this is not going to take this data because when you supply value, this is overwritten. Otherwise, these are default values for input parameters. Now let us say 5 years or 2 years. So it is the amount has been changed now. One thing we still, the time is not needed because nobody is going to check the time, but so simply printing that will change. Okay, when you come down here and it is printing for 5 years means 5 into 12, 60 months. So this is the human term, total amount you have to pay this much and blah, blah, blah. So one hitch still it is this. So I don't need the time. So go here for the changing the different time. So I have to use a function called convert. So instead of we were using cast function, right? Let us use convert function for this. Convert function will convert the date, but the syntax is not this. The varchar has to come here. So convert like this. And here I can use some numbers. So I think you would have known there is a cast and convert function. What is the purpose of convert function? Convert function is used to convert the date and time styles. Cast function for the or typecasting. So normally, whenever you wanted to convert the data to varchar, better don't use cast, use convert and give some style number here 101, 107. So some style numbers are there. So this will change the printing when you execute now, you may not get time. So, this is what is this. So, this would be the right approach, and you have to adjust because this has to still go this side. This has to increase some kind of spaces here. So, you have to increase the space, say on another 15 spaces, you have to increase. When you go here, the problem is fine. Okay. So this is how you can have. So you can also have welcome to ICICI Bank or Citibank if you wanted to print something in above here. Okay. If you wanted to print something, you can also print. Clear? So print, you can say welcome to Citibank. Okay. Something like this. So if you want to keep in between, you can have like this. Welcome to Citibank. Okay, this is how you're going to have like this. So this is the thing you should be able to have reports and you should be able to do this here. Clear? This is it. So if you wanted to have any kind of a report or any kind of things, the calculations is a thing you have to do it and you have to, this is how you have to execute. It is not, this is the calling of a statement. It is not going to have input parameters So this is how you're able to have. Are you clear, guys?
Yes. I have one question.
Please go in and ask. Yeah.
When you declare that output parameters,
No output parameters in this. Yeah. Tell me.
uh, yeah, input parameters,
Yeah.
that it total and whatever, those
Hmm.
are,
Right. Extra variables.
yeah, extra variables. You instead of uh, group, you have written below
Ah,
as
right. Right.
else statements.
Yeah. That you can declare anything. In C language, normally you have to declare everything in the top. But in SQL language, whenever you need,
Okay.
right, thanks. Okay. So thanks. Any